Then he escaped and tried to eat Natty while she was sleeping. So now Mum makes me keep him at the zoo. I got to the reptile house and pushed open the door with my shoulder, because I was holding a box of Beelzebub's favourite frozen field mice. A strange-looking teenage boy was standing in the middle of the room. He smiled when I walked in, as if he'd been waiting for me to arrive. There was no one else in there, so when the door slammed shut, we were alone. I ignored him, thinking he was just another zoo visitor, and walked over to Beelzebub's vivarium. As I lowered the frozen mice into the tank, I could feel the boy's eyes burning into the back of my head. "Hey, Sammy," he said. "I'm Donny. I'm here to help you." Mine a freak out? How did he know my name without asking? Was he psychic? Was he a crazy stalker, or was he something else? Donny. Age 17, although he has grey hair like my granddad did. Looks as cool and calm as an alley cat. First impressions? This guy is seriously weird. I figured that Donny was probably just a new zookeeper. And that's how he knew who I was. Everyone at Feral Zoo knows me. I held out the box of frozen mice towards Donny, thinking he'd take one and feed it to a snake. But he just stood there. I stared back. That's when I noticed Donny didn't look like a zookeeper. He was wearing a plain white t-shirt, ripped jeans, and motorbike boots. Not exactly regular zookeeping gear. "How's Caliban?" Donny asked, bending down and studying a rare Peruvian boa constrictor winding around a damp log. I should have explained earlier that Caliban is our new puppy. We've only had him 3 weeks. Caliban spends every day sitting in Dad's office. The man who sold him to Dad said he was a pure-breed husky. He was lying. I shrugged my shoulders at Donny and ignored him while I fed Beelzebub a few more field mice. At the time, I was more interested in the way Beelzebub dislocated his jaw to swallow the mice. Such a cool trick. Wish I could do it with burgers. Than wondering how Donny knew about Caliban. Now I'd wish I'd paid more attention. Maybe then I could have saved my family. Donny walked over and tugged my arm. "Look, if you're ever in trouble," he whispered, "or if things get really weird, just let me know. I love weird. Weird is totally up my street." Excuse me? What? This guy was making no sense. Then Donny stuffed something into my hand. "Remember," he said, looking me right in the eye, "I can help." Then he just walked off, like nothing had happened. I looked down at what Donny had slipped into my hand. It was a card. This card. Donny, cryptozoologist. No animal too weird. What's a cryptozoologist? The word was like it was from an alien language. I had no idea what it meant. So I did what I always do when I want to know something. I went to see Dad. "What's a cryptozoologist?" I asked as we sat down for a snack in the zoo cafe. "Someone who studies animals that don't exist," Dad said, biting into his ham sandwich. Dad knows the answer to everything. Like the abominable snowman or dragons or werewolves. Yep, that confirmed it. Donny was a weirdo of the highest degree. But why was he interested in me? Anyway, the rest of the afternoon was pretty normal. Dad had a meeting with a panda breeder who was visiting from China. Grace trained a chimp to wave. Natty and Mum took turns to throw steaks into the tiger den. And I cleaned out the spider tanks. One of the black widows had eaten her mate. Cool. After all the visitors had left, I headed towards Dad's office. The plan was to round everyone up and go home for dinner. But things never, ever go to plan. It was dark outside, and the light of a full moon illuminated the animal cages as I walked through the zoo. I could hear barking coming from Dad's office. It sounded like Caliban. Caliban's growls got louder and